I do fun things. You know, like this is a good sample. It's just. Which is an octave down, and then this sort of heavier thing from time. That's silly.
So who are you guys?
We are Gypsy Soulution as a whole.
Just two weirdos that were in band together, and then that guy we auditioned, and he was the least mentally unstable.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's good to know. So, Gypsy Soulution, it's spelled differently. Why?
Yeah, it's spelled like soul.
Do people misspell it? Like the
Yes.
real, like the
Oh,
soul?
yeah.
One time.
Yeah, like unless we're in charge of the posters and promotion, they put us up as just Gypsy Soulution, which sounds really negative, like
Yeah.
if you just take it for the
Yeah.
word. Yeah. And so we've been asked by people, they're like, how are you going to solve the gypsy problem? And I'm like, that's not
Solve
what
the
we're doing.
gypsy
That's not what we're doing.
Like you're activists? Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I was like, no, that's not.
Yeah.
So these are my ProMark hot rods, and basically they're just a bundle of really tiny drumsticks put together, and they allow you to play a little quieter. Basically they sound like this, just. There you have it. I use these a lot. A couple times though, I've been going too hard and these things will shatter and just shrapnel flies everywhere. And one time it hit Art and Avery and they thought the crowd was throwing stuff at us, but it's just drummer problems, man.
What about some problems that you guys have, gone through or that you're still like working with right now in the band?
I could think the biggest one that was a problem right off the bat was losing our drummer.
We had some auditions
Yeah.
and played
That was-
through stuff and
Yeah.
jammed with different drummers.
And we had some people that were close, but
Yeah.
like, I think Nick got an unfair advantage. He got
Yeah.
tons of references.
I don't know. I'm out of the loop. I didn't hear the references. He
That's
just
true.
Yeah.
he just had
shut
it
him.
down.
Yeah.
Like, so he just like worked with you guys, like just the group dynamic, like.
Oh, yeah.
it was okay.
And
Yeah.
when
Yeah,
he came
'cause
in,
that's just as important as the musical
sure.
yeah, it really is. It's that sinking into it. But once he got it, even some of the roles and the techniques he were using were like very similar to what Raymond had done just before he left. And it
Yeah, I
just
remember
felt
you
like,
guys.
yeah, it felt like it should be the next step. Like that felt like the place to go. So this is an EBO, and it emits a little magnetic field and kind of vibrates the strings. I have a fuzz. I have an old school, like analog, that does a very. Then I've got this thing from a country kind of picking. And then just the all out. Fuzz monster. And then this is probably my favorite one. I saved it for last because it's the most interesting. It's essentially a volume pedal. It's called a tremolo probe, and the way that it works is you interrupt like a field So I also use this drum. It's from Raymond's kit. Its name is Janky, with the D at the beginning. Placerville, it was just where we were all raised. Small town vibes. Hooked up with the drummer and the sax player through school and things like that, or like friend of a friend. There is a path, though sometimes it's unconventional, where you have to work up. It's like a test run. When you're in your small town, you're comfortable, and you get to really feel who you are and how you need to progress as a musician, and then you start pushing for things that are bigger, and you feel comfortable, and you have that sort of base to like bounce off of and hopefully go to bigger, better things. Or a big part of my life was the Native Americans, like the Miwok tribe that's nearby.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually danced with them for a few years, and it's a section of my life that I view with pride. And it shaped who I am, So,
that's crazy.
Yeah, music has always been there, and you can hear some of the native influence in some of our songs.
So what's your
like
heritage then?
Me, I'm actually from a tribe in South Dakota. The common name would be Ojibwa, but I never got the chance to interact with my family that's up there, and my mom wanted me to be a part of the native community, so she connected with people here, and then just with time, we kind of became immersed in the community, and I went in as an outsider, and now I view a lot of them as family. And they're the people that you can live different lifestyles with and see them on the street, and one of you is dressed like this and the other is dressed just sag pants and big t-shirts, and there's no judgment there. You're like, that's a childhood friend, or that's someone you bond with. Like, there's no barrier that stands in the way. There's that part of you that always wants to return to the small town, like even being here and like having friends out of town and loving the experience that is the city. Someday I'm like, I could raise my kids here, but then there's the other part of me that's like, I could also raise my kids in Spain and just embrace that side. So we've got a bunch of cool stuff, just random things on the walls and stuff. This blanket, we like to drape it, it's cool. We've got over here a wall that we're working on putting our show posters and other posters. We're gonna cover the wall. Hopefully eventually we'll be able to like cover all three of these walls, but one of them will be just show posters from our shows. Got a Chipotle menu, scored that. Always know the prices. I think steak change though. We've got photos that we found at a thrift shop way back. The first snare from the first kit that I bought, awesome crushed velvet, like painting. Apparently that was a big thing in the 70s, and I dig it. I don't know why it ever stopped. There was a bunch of various pieces of gear, old bass drum and stuff like that from Raymond's kit that we still keep around. This is my bass. Apparently, also I heard they don't sell these in the US, like no stores stock them. It's just people who manage to get a hold of them. So they're not very common. Oh yeah, Luda and Dale, they watch over us in the band space. They're pretty cool. They're both gifts of Nick. Nick brought Luda, he brought Dale. I have an affinity for the King of Hearts. It is a cool thing for me to say the King of Hearts, I just enjoy it. I've had wild experiences, when I was younger. We thought it would be cool, and we'd be those kids that like in the middle of the night found their way to Main Street and decided to run across rooftops and things like that. Yeah, the little night runners. And so definitely, and I've talked to people since, people that I knew that, yard duties or teachers in school, and they were like, wow, you guys were such hellions, and now you're kind of civilized. It's, yeah, they're like, whoa, the world got you. But